Some Game of Thrones actors talked about the legacy of Game of Thrones, and they seem so delusional and so aggressive towards the fans. I just really wanted to talk about it and some of their comments and little jabs. Also, I've been in a really bad mood lately, so it gives me a chance to kind of come at someone that's never going to hear the things I'm saying. I know some people clicked on this video and they're thinking, Rawrist, it's been over a year, you need to let it go. Game of Thrones is over. To which I direct you to this meme. And you wanna know what? If the actors keep talking about it, by God, I'm gonna keep talking about it too. So here's some fun interviews where actors talked about the final season of Game of Thrones and how much they don't think it was bad and we should just shut the fuck up. You first. So Sophie Turner declared, I was satisfied with how unpredictable the show's ending really is. It really is so unpredictable the way that it ends up. I'm very satisfied with that. Yeah, do you want to ask Rian Johnson how subverting expectations went for him? Because I heard everybody loves Rian Johnson. Like, seriously. Write something about Rian Johnson in a positive light in the comment section down below, and people are just going to flock to it and tell you, oh my gosh, he is a walking god on earth. But also you have to realize Sophie Turner's a bit of a troll. So now let's talk about the guy who played the Night King for season 4 and 5, who also thought it was just absolutely brilliant. So Richard Brick said, I kind of sensed before the season began that there would always be a group of people who would be disappointed because no one likes things to end. So it wasn't surprising there was a bit of backlash. Everybody loved the ending. Some people wished it was longer. They may have wished for a certain person to have not died, or died, but everybody's loved it. The backlash is often a small amount of voices making a whole lot of noise. Yeah. Too bad we don't have like a shit ton of evidence and polls that show that it wasn't a minority and it was actually a lot of people disappointed in the final season. But it's okay, you can ignore data if it just fits your narrative and, you know, we're the dumb ones and everybody just loved it. He also thought Arya killing the Night King was brilliant, so, you know, he's one of those people. So on that, he said, I really thought they did a great job with the ending. I particularly liked the way they ended my character. I thought having Arya kill the Night King was just genius. Her character and the way they developed her from a little girl who watched her father murdered to the greatest assassin in the world who saves the world was just genius storytelling. No, D&D admitted that they did it because everyone expected Jon Snow to be the one to have the final battle with the Night King and kill him. So they wanted to be like, haha, gotcha. You know, all the prophecy and setup and everything. Fuck that. And honestly, I have gotten into so much just everything behind Arya actually being the one to kill the Night King and how it just made absolutely no sense. And it's like, okay, if you wanted her to be the one to do it, you had to do it in a logical way. And I know you have those people that are like, it's a fantasy series, it doesn't need to have logic. Yes, it does. Shut up. Please. Dear God, if you set up rules, even in a fantasy world, you need to follow them. Anyways, Gemma, the actor for Yara, also liked the ending, and this is what she said. I'm just gonna get more and more angry as this video goes on. I respect and like the fact that it came to an end as and when it did because things can't go on forever. And for me, a very good ending and a place where the showrunners always wanted to end the show. Yeah, I feel like they keep going back to people are upset because it ended and it wasn't longer, and the reason why people wanted it to be longer wasn't because they wanted it to go on forever. They just didn't want it to be a rushed shit show to the end. So it's not people being upset that it ended. It's just that you put zero thought into it, and a lot of what D&D did was a middle finger to people. Because they were done. They were done. They wanted to move on to other stuff. By the way, how's that working out for you, D&D? Heard your Star Wars project is just going so well. Gemma also talked about how proud she is to be part of the show, stating, I feel really proud that I was part of it, really fortunate and privileged to have been part of the show. I look back on it with enormous, fond memories. I learned a lot. I met some of my best friends for life, and it would be so silly to complain about any part of it. We just had a great time, and if you're on the coast freezing cold, covered in icy seawater, it was still enormous fun. A job like that doesn't really come along very often, and I think the obvious answer is the correct answer. And the cliche answer is, I'm very lucky and look back with great fondness. So you can be happy about an opportunity or happy to even be with someone, but still have complaints. I say this often. The things I love the most, I tear apart the most. Because I care about them. And when you care about something, you want it to be better. For instance, I love the Zack Snyder Justice League cut, but I was still able to say things that I didn't like about the movie, even though I loved it. It's okay to love something and still have criticism. Jerome Flynn declared that the show will be remembered as a show of the highest quality, and the global viewing figures testify to that. Okay, Jerome, I just want to throw this out here. Train wrecks have a lot of views too, so, I don't know if you can say a lot of people watched it, so it obviously was the best. A lot of people watched the sequel trilogy too. Oh, and this is fun. Hodor's actor, Kirsten, thinks that Game of Thrones will be in the same category as Star Trek, Star Wars, and Legacy. He said, I think it's going to follow a Star Wars, Star Trek category and the sort of cult annals of TV history. Hopefully it will be spoken about in years to come, especially with the sequel. It will keep it in people's heads. I think it will go down in history as a game changer in TV and movies. It really has changed how we watch TV shows and what we expect to happen. Yeah, for instance, now we know that a show can be super awesome, and then the final seasons can just be absolute garbage, regardless of how much money a network throws at it. Although I will give him that Game of Thrones did change fantasy TV quite a bit, and made it a bit more popular for the general populace. Okay, lastly, Richard seems to think, I really think it'll be remembered as something very, very special in terms of really important storytelling. I think it is a very, very special show. Unlike so many other things, it's just incredibly special. I think it'll always go down as one of the greatest shows in history. Do you think during these interviews, D&D were, like, to the side with a knife, like, glaring at them? Yeah, there are so many interviews of the actors on Game of Thrones going on and on and on about how anybody that didn't like it, the final season was in a minority. If they didn't like it, it's just they were being a crybaby because a character died or didn't die that they wanted, and they missed the mark so much. And I don't know if it's being delusional or it's just a way of defending themselves. It's crazy to me that it doesn't seem like a lot of the actors are willing to step back and go, okay, I get it. I see where maybe people would be upset with the lack of quality in the final seasons. Of course, there are absolutely vamp people, like Tywin's actor, who said, yeah, it fucking sucks. So good on you, sir. Thank you for not being afraid to voice your opinion. Or a negative opinion. No. I'm sure he doesn't give a shit if D&D threaten him. Alright, like, subscribe, and I'm gonna go get some caffeine so I can settle down. I'm getting a little out of control. Just a little bit. I'm elderly, so, we get a bit cranky.